Our expert of the week then tonight is Naomi Andrews. Hello, Naomi.
Hello there, hi.
Now, your official title is a pet behaviour counsellor.
That's right, yes, yeah. A bit of a mouthful.
I said last week we'd have a pet psychologist on, but that's not quite right, is it?
Not quite right.
Okay. How do you become qualified in this? Because it's not... nobody can just start calling themselves a pet behaviour counsellor. You have to have the right qualifications, don't you?
I mean, it's one of those things. The field is unregulated at the moment, so there are associations and certainly lots of courses out there. So there are certain specific ones we want people to be sort of looking for. So one of those would be the Association of Pet Behaviour Counsellors. So that's one of the ones that I'm a member of. So there's lots of ways to get into it. So I started out doing a psychology degree, and then I specialised and did a postgraduate diploma in companion animal behaviour counselling. So then that sort of specialised further into pet behaviour specifically.
What made you switch to that particular route, Naomi?
Well, I've grown up with animals. I've always loved animals, and I don't think anybody sort of who knew me when I was younger is particularly surprised that I decided to specialise in pet behaviour. It's something that's always interested me. So I did psychology because the sort of the whys and wherefores of why people do things is really fascinating. But I just couldn't help myself. Animals are just my passion, so I decided it's got to be. I've got to specialise in them.
So what sort of animals or pets have you got at the moment? Do you have them around the house at the moment?
Yes, I have 2 dogs myself, a German Shepherd and what we think is probably a Belgian Shepherd. Everybody likes to have a bit of a guess about what he is when they meet him. And then I've got 4 rabbits and a hamster as well.
So when people contact you to look at their pet's behaviour, is it usually a behaviour that's a little bit antisocial from the human point of view, or is it the sort of behaviour that they think might be distressing the animal? What sort of things do you get asked to look at?
I think probably a mix of both. I suppose the more sort of unruly side of things we see quite a lot, things that sort of distress people more. So, I mean, it varies hugely from sort of aggression, whether that's towards people or other animals, to sort of more anxiety-related, sort of phobic issues as well. So we really do see a huge range of issues. So that's barking or destructive behaviour, but usually stems from something that the dog is doing that distresses the owner or other people in some way.
And is it mainly dogs? I know you do cats as well, and you said you dabble with rabbits as well.
Yes, we do have the odd rabbit here and there. Yes, it is mainly dogs. I think dogs perhaps can pose more sort of issues to their owners than cats, who tend to be a bit more independent and perhaps stay out of the way a little bit. So we do tend to see more dogs than cats. But yes, certainly a fair share of cats out there as well that are causing their owners some issues.
Now, if you've got an animal, a dog, cat, maybe even a rabbit, I don't know, and it is causing any issues or odd behaviour that you perhaps just need explaining, it doesn't have to be something that needs kind of correcting or modifying. Maybe you could just do with something explaining. Then Naomi could be the person to help you out. So we're happy to take your call. 0370 143 1333, the number to dial. Cats, dogs, maybe rabbits, we'll see. 0370 143 1333, the number to dial. When you text 81333, start your message with the word Dean, or you can email it's dean.jackson@bbc.co.uk. But try to avoid what's been happening with our experts of the week for the past few weeks, which is this, that Naomi will be with you for about 8 or 9 more minutes. And what's happened over the past few weeks is the minute the expert's gone, the questions have come in and the boat's been missed, really. So don't keep listening and daring yourself to ring in and then call just as Naomi disappears. Call now. 0370 143 1333 is the number to dial. So on the line is Naomi Andrews, who is a pet behaviour counsellor. Hey, Naomi.
Hello, hi.
Say hello to Rosy, who's in bed, no less, in Rugby.
Oh, hello, Rosy.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you cosy, Rosy?
Pardon?
Are you cosy?
Oh, I am very... I ain't got any blankets on. It's too warm for blankets.
Oh, dear. Oh, leave it at that. Enough said. Rosie, you've got a question for Naomi.
Oh, yes, I have, yes. I've got 3 cats.
Okay.
I've got 3 cats. They get on quite well.
Okay,
but my
good.
eldest cat, she's 13, called Bailey, and she's
Okay.
got a habit of pulling all her fur out at the
dear.
back
Oh dear. Okay.
and all round her tail.
Oh dear.
And this
Okay.
makes her eat it, and then she sicks it up,
Oh, dear.
like fur balls.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Naomi, does this make any sense to you?
Yes, yeah, and unfortunately we do see this sometimes. So how long has Bailey been doing this for?
Oh, a couple of months, but she stops now and again, and you know what I mean?
Okay.
She goes for a few months, and then she'll start again.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I mean, what we usually suggest for cats, especially when they're a little bit older and they sort of suddenly start doing things like this, the first port of call would usually be to get a thorough vet check just to make sure there's nothing sort of medical underlying it. So make sure there's no
I took her to the vet.
allergies or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I took her to the vets before, and he said he got a light on the back, and there were no fleas or nothing. And he said, I think she's very stressed.
Stressed.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And is there anything that's changed since she started doing this?
Well,
Any changes in her routine?
we did it. We've adopted a black cat. We've had him 2 years now, and he's sort of. Well, they've all been neutered, but I think he's still got some of his feelings, and he tries to mount her, and she don't like it.
No, of course not. Okay.
No.
Oh, bless her. Okay, yes.
No wonder
so it
she's
might be-
stressed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we've spotted the problem here, Rosie.
Yeah. Yeah, so perhaps making sure that she gets plenty of time away from him and gets her own sort of human attention, if you like, rather than the unwanted kind.
I turf him out at night, because it keeps tormenting her.
Oh, dear.
Well, you need some time away from him. Keep him away from her, Rosie. You knew this already, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I've got 2 tomcats. They've all been neutered, you see.
Yeah.
And Tommy, he came, and the vet said he's about 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
And he's a naughty boy.
But still amorous. We get the picture.
Dear.
Rosie, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for calling. You stay cosy, Rosie.
I will.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Rosie in Rugby. So it just seems, Naomi, that sounds like... it's easier said than done, isn't it? If you've got 2 cats, keeping them apart is not the most straightforward thing. But that does sound like it's a straightforward answer in a way.
Yes, I think we've probably identified her,
I think so.
her sort
I think we
of
have,
stress there. So, yes, it'd just be a case of trying to manage that then, yes. Yeah.
What do you do? This is from Derek, who's listening in Colville. His dog is forever nicking his slippers and hiding them. Why?
Okay.
Why do they do that?
It could be several reasons. It could be that it's a good game, so the dog just finds it fun. It could be that the slippers obviously smell of him, so the dog is sort of collecting them up, and that makes them feel good. Or yes, could be a good way of getting their attention as well. Quite often dogs will learn that if they steal certain items, that will get their owner's attention. So quite often we don't tend to notice when they pick up their toy, but pick up the remote control or your pair of slippers, and they will they know that'll get our attention.
That's
so
quite cunning, isn't it? Actually,
it is. Yeah.
So the obvious answer again is remove the slippers, isn't it, or just stop? But it's not always that easy, because presumably you remove the slippers and they might take the remote control.
Yes, that's it. They might well find something else to take.
Yeah.
So I would say your best bet really is to teach them to bring you your slippers. So rather than to run off with them and hide them somewhere, to bring them to you instead. So really, as soon as you see them grab something like that, reward them for coming to you. So really encourage them. Say, yes, really great job. Bring me my slippers instead. So rather than hiding them, they feel like they've got a job to do. They're still getting that attention, but it's for something a bit easier on the people.
Okay, Naomi, thank you very much indeed. Can you stay there for one more tune? Is that all right?
Yes,
Keeping
no
from
problem.
your Friday night. Okay, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back with you after. Yeah. Naomi Andrews is a pet behaviour counsellor. Hey, Naomi.
Hello.
Graham's been on from Leicester.
Okay.
He's wanting to get a new cat, a kitten maybe, or maybe a rescue cat. He's already got a cat that he's had for 5 years, and he's worried about that cat having its nose out of joint or feeling rejected. Is there a procedure that he should go through in introducing a new moggy to the house?
Okay, so most importantly is that it's done in a very gradual way. So what we find with cats who have been only cats for a little while is they can feel like they've been pushed out a little bit. Then they don't tend to be quite as sociable with other cats as, say, dogs tend to be a bit more accepting of other dogs. So we tend to say keep it nice and gradual so that, they have plenty of time apart, they have their own spaces, so make sure that each cat has its own sort of territory within the house that it can sort of always retreat to, that the adult cat gets plenty of space. So the same as with Rosy's cats, to make sure that they get plenty of time away from each other as well. Make sure the older cat, that its routine is sort of kept to as much as possible, and that good things happen around the kitten. And so you might have them kept separately for a while and start to sort of swap cloths that you've rubbed on the other one, so they get used to each other's scent and that sort of thing before you actually physically bring them together, and make sure it's done nice and gradually as well.
That's clever. That's very clever. And one more, if I may. We've got a whole host here. We will be inviting you back, Naomi. In fact, we'll be pestering you on a regular basis.
No problem.
Pat in Leicester. This is well, to me it's an odd one, but I've never kept cats, so I don't know. Pat says, my cat purrs around my legs when he's hungry, but when I go to feed him, he tries to bite me. Why is that? It's an odd one.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So I'd love to know a bit more detail on this. But perhaps there's something around the feeding routine, perhaps frustration, or there's something about the actual feeding that he's feeling uncomfortable about. Or it might be that perhaps cats have more limited ways of sort of showing us what it is that they want. So it might be that in some cases that the cat's not actually hungry, but there's some other kind of attention that the cat's sort of looking for at that time. So it might be worth looking at what other kinds of things to make sure that the cat's had lots of play sessions, and sort of if the cat's a cuddly cat, to make sure it's had that kind of interaction as well. So to sort of look in a bit more detail about what other things could actually be causing that sort of attention soliciting behaviour, other than just food, because quite often we assume that they want food, but perhaps there might be something else that the cat's after at that particular time as well. I see.
Yeah, so we assume the purring behaviour is to get fed, and actually it could be something else being...
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Right, Naomi, thank you so much for joining us on The Late Show tonight. If people want to find out more, there's a website, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the website is www.basketcasepetbehaviour.co.uk, and we're also under the same name on Facebook as well, so you can get in touch via either way.
And do you do sessions where you actually get to meet the animals yourself, or do you just advise owners on what they should do? How does it work?
Yes, so in most cases I would go to the person's house so I can meet the pet in its own home environment, and we'll discuss the problem, any sort of relevant history, and the pet's routine, and then yes, I might see the pet in action, as it were, and then come up with a plan.
And you're based in the East Midlands, so not too far away either.
No, that's it, absolutely.
Okay, so it's basketcasepetbehaviour.co.uk, that's the website.
That's right, yeah, brilliant.
Naomi, thank you very much indeed. And
you're very welcome.
I will be pestering you again, I promise.
Okay, lovely, I look forward to it.
Okay, take care. Thanks.
Okay,
Naomi
bye.
Andrews, thank you very much indeed. So there you go.